So today guys, I'm going to be showing us how to stitch or how to make this particular dress. I already have the pattern tutorial video up on my channel already. You can always check that out. But before we dive right into the video, in case you're new here, you are most welcome. My name is Chichi for short, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming. So I begin by placing the fabric on fold like so, and then I have the pattern placed on it, and then hold it down with the help of an office pin. And then, as you can see from this armhole area, from the pattern drafting tutorial, you already know how I came about this particular area. And with this, I'm going to be marking out the new shaping for the dress. So I mark from here all the way to this point. And at this armhole area, remember this folding in is by 1 inch. So I'm going to be coming up from this point by 1 inch in order to take care of what I folded in. And then I recurve the armhole just like so. So I take in the armhole again. As you can see, that's the new armhole line. Can you see that? And then coming down to this lower part, I'm not going to be shaping exactly on what we have here because that is going to distort the whole shape. So I'm going to be having a new shape which is like this. So I'm going to be marking from here, all the way to the other tip of the pattern. Can you see that? So that's going to be our new shaping for this dress. And at this point, you can see that we have unequal tips at this point. So I'm going to be using this longest tip and then curve it all the way to the other end as well. So here is what we have, and I'm going to be cutting along the new shapings that I have now. So that is what we need to work with. So here is what the new shape should look like. Can you see what I am cutting? So this is what we have, and then I'm going to be stitching along the center fold like so with the gathered stitch. And here is what the gathered stitch looks like. And as you can see, I have it weaved already. Can you see I weaved them separately? So now it's time for me to pull the thread that is below. Yeah, this is the thread below while I was stitching. So for that thread, I pull a strand of the two threads that I have. That's the one below, and then I pull like so. I pull them until I have the draping that I want. So I'm going to be pulling, and while you pull, please be gentle with that so that your thread does not cut. Because if eventually your thread cuts, and if it cuts at the wrong place, you are going to be starting your pulling, all afresh. So I pull gently until I have the gathered or the draping that I want. So while I pull, I arrange, and then afterwards I measure out to make sure that I have the length that I want. So here I have about 10 inches, and we know that from the pattern we have 10.5 inches at that point. So I pull out a little bit so that I can have 10.5 inches. So I have 10.5 inches, and then at this point I'm not going to be using a regular stitch to hold it down so that the draping or the gathered is not moving up and down, so that it's in a fixed position. So I'm going to be stitching that so that it remains permanent. So at this point, as you can see, I have it stitched, and the gathered or the draping is no longer moving up and down. So at this point I open it up, and then I'm going to be pressing it with the help of the pressing iron so that we can have exactly what the draping at the center fold of this piece should look like. So this is what we have after I have given it a good press. And then I come back to the pattern paper, and then I place it on the dress to make sure that I have exactly what I should. And as you can see, I have this extra at this point, so I'm going to be trimming that off at both sides. Okay, so this is what you should have after trimming it up. You can see that it looks very straight now. And then I come back to the other part of the pattern, which is the back part, and then I place the pattern on it, and then I cut out like so. So for the interfacing for the front, I'm going to be cutting exactly what we had before I slashed the pattern paper. I'm not going to be draping the interfacing for the front. I'm going to be using this to cut exactly what I want for the interfacing. So here's the interfacing for the front, as you can see. So this is the back and the front after I've joined it with the interfacing. So this is what we have for the upper front and then for the upper back. And then I turn them inside out so that I can give them a good press. And guys, after I've given it a good press, this is what we have, and this is how beautiful they look. So this is the front, and then here we have the back. And then coming over to the lower part of the dress, so this is the front, and I'm going to be stitching up to this point where the slit is going to begin. And then we have here the back part of the dress as well. So I'm going to be stitching all the way down because this doesn't have a slit. The slit is at the front. So here is what the back looks like. So you can see I left the zipper allowance, and then I stitched all the way down. So you can see this is the back part of the dress where I open up the seam. So this is how it goes. I open up the seam. So this is what it looks like. So this is the front part of the dress, and then I come to the front part as well. You can see the slit opening. So I iron, and then I open up the slit, and I use a hemming gum to hold it down. So this is what the front part of the dress looks like after giving it a good press. So I get the front upper and lower part and I stitch together, and then I get the back as well. I place and then I have it stitched together. So this is what the front looks like after I stitched it and I place the back on it, and then I hold it down with the help of an office pin, and then retake all my vertical measurements and then mark out the body circumference measurement divided by 2. So this is me just shaping the dress. So basically I'm just doing the body shaping for the dress from the bust all the way down to the length of the dress. So this is me shaping out the dress with the accurate body measurement. So this is what the sleeve looks like, and the sleeve has an elastic like we know. So this is what we have for the sleeve, and like I said, this is the part I'm going to be fixing the elastic on. And guys, so this is what the body of the dress looks like after I have coupled the front and the back together, so we can see what we have. So now it's time for us to fix the sleeve. So now I have the elastic on the sleeve, and this is what the shape of the sleeve looks like after I fix the elastic on it. And then I get the body of the dress and then I place the sleeve on it like so. So this is how the sleeve fixing goes, and then I stitch along like so. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So finally I'm going to be stitching down this part, and then guys, our dress is ready. This is how beautiful the turnout looks like. Guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed, and please see you in my next one. Bye.